Welcome to the Banquet of the Gods. Please make yourselves at home in our banquet hall as the gods introduce themselves. In olden times, when men still worshipped ugly idols, there lived in the land of Greece a folk of shepherds and herdsmen who cherished light and beauty. They did not worship dark idols like their neighbors, but created instead their own beautiful, radiant gods. The Greek gods looked much like people and acted like them too, only they were taller, handsomer, could do no wrong. Fire-breathing monsters and beasts with many heads stood for all that was dark and wicked. They were for gods and great heroes to conquer. The gods lived on top of Olympus, a mountain so high and steep that no man could climb it and see them in their shining palace. But they often descended to earth, sometimes in their own shapes, sometimes disguised as humans or animals. Mortals worshipped the gods, and the gods honored Mother Earth. They had all sprung from her, for she was the beginning of all life.
Gaia, the earth, came out of darkness so long ago that no one knows when or how. Earth was young and lonely, for nothing lived on her yet. She met Uranus, the sky, and the two were married. Soon young Earth became Mother Earth, the mother of all things living. All their children loved their warm, bountiful mother, but feared their mighty father Uranus, Lord of the universe. Mother Earth had 3 sets of children, the 12 Titans, the three Cyclops, and the 3 children with 50 heads. Uranus was disgusted with the ugliness of the Cyclops and the 50-headed children, so he threw them into Tartarus,
the deepest, darkest pit under the earth.
But Mother Earth loved all her children and wanted them free. She went to Cronus, the youngest Titan, for help.
Although I am young, I am strong, and I will free my brothers using the sickle that my mother gave me.
Cronus was now the Lord of the universe. He married the Titaness Rhea, and they ruled over heaven and earth with a firm hand. This was man's golden age when men lived happily and in peace with the gods and each other. They did not kill, they had no locks on their doors, but theft had not yet been invented. However, Cronus did not learn from the mistakes of his father, and to prevent his own children from taking his throne, he decided to swallow each of them soon after they were born.
Children, yet I am alone. Perhaps Mother Earth can help me save my children. What a wonderful plan! Instead of my newborn son Zeus, I will give Cronus a rock.
Zeus was spirited away to the island of Crete, where he grew up in safety. Zeus grew rapidly, and it was not long before he stood out of his cave as a great new god.
Now that I am grown, it is time for me to avenge my brothers and sisters. I will use the thunderbolts the Cyclops had made me to defeat Cronus, and rescue my siblings so they can share my power.
Zeus won a great victory over Cronus and became the next Lord of the universe. He proudly took his throne on Mount Olympus. One by one, his siblings joined him, beginning with his wife Hera.
I am the beautiful queen of Olympus, and I'm very jealous. Zeus fears nothing except my fits of temper. I detest all Zeus's otherwise, especially the mortal ones. Whenever I see that Zeus has another wife, I find a way to make her life miserable. One of my favorite torments is to send a swarm of gadflies after my enemy. I, Hestia, am the eldest sister of Zeus and the goddess of the hearth. I tend the sacred fire here on Mount Olympus, and every hearth on earth is an altar to me, unlike my sister, Hera. I prefer gentleness and kindness.
I am Demeter, goddess of the harvest. I cause all plants and crops to grow, providing beauty and food for the people of earth. My daughter Persephone is my constant companion. I love her dearly and cannot bear to have her out of my sight. One day, while she was playing in the meadow, she strayed away from me. I searched far and wide, but could not find my precious daughter. By the help of a swineherd, I discovered she had been stolen by Hades.
I'm Hades, Lord of the Dead. I am the one who stole Persephone. I am a god of few words.
Hades brought me to the underworld, where I learned that mortals feared him and called him the Rich One, because all the treasures of the ground are his. They also call him the Hospitable One, because there's always room for one more in the underworld. After he stole me, I became his wife, the queen of the underworld, though I did not want to stay. Help! Help!
Zeus persuaded Hades to let Persephone return to her mother for part of the year. However, because she had eaten some pomegranate seeds, she was required to spend 3 months of each year in the underworld. During the months Persephone was in the underworld, Demeter would grieve, and the earth would produce nothing. But when she returned, the whole earth would burst into bloom. As long as mother and daughter were together, the earth was warm and bore fruit.
I am Poseidon, Lord of the Sea. I am a moody and violent god. People call me the Earth Shaker because when I strike my trident on the ground, the earth trembles and splits open. When I strike the sea, waves rise high and sink ships. When I'm calm, the sea is still. I am rarely at home because I love to race the waves with my team of snow-white horses.
Now that all my siblings are seated, I would like you to meet my Olympian children.
You may have noticed my limp. I haven't always walked this way. I am Hephaestus, the son of Zeus and Hera. I am the god of smiths and fire. I am a hard-working and peace-loving God, and I'm very fond of my mother. One day my parents were quarreling. I sided with Hera, that means Zeus. So angry that he seized my legs and flung me all the way to the island of Lebanon. Ever since, I've walked like a flickering flame, as you now see. Despite my weak legs, I'm a skilled metalsmith. In fact, I made these 12 thrones. What do you think of my handiwork? Oh, here comes my wife, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty.
I am not actually a child of Zeus. I have neither a mother nor a father. The west wind greeted me as I rose out of the sea on a cushion of foam. He blew me to the island of Cythera, where I was welcomed by the three graces. They sent me in a golden chariot to Mount Olympus, where I was made one of the gods. Zeus was worried that since I am so beautiful, the gods would fight to marry me, so he chose my husband, Hephaestus, for me. To be honest, I'd rather be married to tall and handsome Ares.
I am Ares, the god of war, and I am great. Some people think I am cruel because I love war for war's sake. I don't care what side I'm on as long as there is much bloodshed. I have killed many with this sword.
Stop your wailing and be seated.
That is my brother, but none of us are very fond of him. I love his vanity and senseless bloodshed. I am Athena, goddess of wisdom, and my father's favorite child. I sprang fully grown from my father's head. This shield has helped me in many battles, but unlike my brother, Ares, I only fight for just causes. You may have heard of the city of Athens. I won that city in a contest against Poseidon. He gave the city a useless salty spring, but I gave him an olive tree, which has many practical uses. I now watch over the city and shower them with skills in arts and crafts.
I am Apollo, the god of light, music, and reason. And this is my twin sister, Artemis.
I am the goddess of the hunt and all newborn creatures.
My father gifted us each a silver bow and a quiver full of arrows. My arrows are hard and piercing.
My arrows are as soft as moonbeams and bring painless death. My father has consented to allow me never to marry, and I will remain a wild young huntress forever. My brother and I get along beautifully, except for the time when I became good friends with the great hunter Orion. Apollo was just plain jealous. Even though he sent a scorpion that killed Orion, I couldn't stay angry with him for long. Together we hung Orion's image in the sky as a constellation.
Being the god of music, I have spent my time training the 9 muses to sing harmoniously together. I used my lyre to help tune their voices. I traded my beautiful white cows for this lyre. But I will let my brother Hermes tell you about that story.
Ha, ha, ha.
I remember that day well. I have always been a rather precocious god. One day when I was just born, I decided to steal the sacred white cows of Apollo. I cleverly made it look as though a giant had let something into the pasture, but nothing out. I hid the cows, sacrificed 2 of them to the gods, and used their entrails as lyre strings. When Apollo came looking for me, I feigned innocence, and he chased me to Mount Olympus, where I gave him my lyre in exchange for the remaining cows and his magic wand. Now do you see why I am god of merchants, travelers, thieves, and all those who live by their wits? I enabled men to use words of persuasion to talk themselves out of trouble.
Hermes had a few other jobs as well. His gift for talking made him the perfect herald of the gods. He also kindly guided dead souls on their last voyage to Hades and the underworld. Now all the thrones are full.
But wait, I have one more son, Dionysus, the god of wine.
Are you kidding me? His mother was mortal. He can't join us. Besides, there are no more thrones.
He may have my throne. I'd rather be closer to the hunt.
Enough, Hera!
Thank you, Father, and gracious Hestia. Hera was right. My mother was mortal and died before I was born. But my quick-thinking father sewed me under the skin of his own leg until I was born. I was raised by the nymphs in the valley of Nysa, where I learned to make wine from the grapes that flourished there. That was when my father decided it was time for me to come to Mount Olympus. And now I go up to share this bounteous feast with you. Ganymede, are the nectar and ambrosia ready?
Yes, ready, and waiting for you all. Shall we begin with the nectar? Everything must come to an end, and so did the rule of Zeus and the other Olympian gods. All that is left of their glory on earth is broken temples and noble statues. Also, their muses fell silent, but their songs still live on to this very day. And the constellations put up by the gods still glitter in the dark blue vault of the sky.